First, I want to apologize that just about 1 hour ago, I learned that many some high school students here. So the original talk, I think it's okay, but yeah. And this talk, the title originally is video tracking and got everything out in this part. So it contains some content like this way. So I think you may not. So basically, when Dimitri is giving talk, I decided to switch to a different one. I apologize for attempting not having known before. So yeah, but I hope the new one is kind of relatively friendly. So this is talk I originally gave kind of for more general audience. So it's about communication and application. So mostly based on the research from my group. First of all, I'm not saying that high school student is not ready for research. Actually, in the past, I have hosted 3 high school students in my group for research. 2 of them graduate. One getting to Yale, another getting to MIT. Third one is still applying for college. So, and they are essentially free. Yeah. So they are volunteers. Okay, so in this talk, as I said, I will first give an overview of computer vision and also based on overview of research in my lab, and then I will cover several general topics in computer vision based on the examples from my group. So let's see, first what is computer vision. So this is from Wikipedia. So it says computer vision is an interdisciplinary field that deals with high-level understanding and from digital images and videos. Okay. So now, because this field is very popular, so basically, the field extends to anything, roughly speaking, anything that can be displayed as images. And some of the data originally is not like the images we captured by camera. They can be images captured by medical devices or in scientific data. So the history of computer vision is like this one. In the early days, we're mostly working on very poor examples. People are working on images like this one. They want to tell what's inside this and kind of very coarse image. So this is very early days. So in about the 1960s. Okay. So apparently, this is far from real, far from application. So then in 1980s to 1990s, so things changed a little bit, and we are still working, most of us are still working on kind of relatively low resolution images. They are still toy, which means most of them are still cannot be applied in real applications. Okay. But there are some narrow applications with exceptions. So one exception is for digital recognition. Okay. So in this part, people want to recognize 10 digits from 0 to 9, the handwriting one. Okay. So this one was successful in 1990s by the guy named Quinn. So if people know about deep learning, you must know this guy already. So the interesting thing is the basic method used here is something called evolutional neural networks. So this is kind of 20 or 20-something years ago. At that time, it was very successful in recognizing 10 digits. But other than that, we didn't see anything kind of for missing at that time. But nowadays, it is I think the most popular technology in modern computer vision, and sometimes even before beyond computer vision. So, but you can see how things go. But at that time, people tried it to different things. It didn't work. Okay. And then since when we get into the year around 2000, there are some more applications. In some very domain-specific research, like in medical imaging, so it is widely used like by the CT images. And why can we do that? Because for this kind of image, they are not like a natural image. By natural image, we typically say, okay, we have cell phone, we have camera, we just took pictures. But this medical image is like they are highly controlled, which means if I ask the patient to lie in some direction, they will very much coordinate with us. So we can control the lighting, we can control the pose, so that makes things relatively easier. So computer vision has successfully been applied to these domains. And there are a few algorithms like face detection, which is mature enough to be applied to real world applications. But still, just the application just limited to certain areas. Okay. But we all know that recently, and especially after 2010s, so computer vision becomes very popular. It has a wide range of real world applications. So some examples including like this kind of assistant driving or autonomous driving, and like smart shopping, and surveillance, and also face purification, something like that one. So we can do much better, for real world applications than before. So I guess some of you may already use some software on the cell phone about this part. Okay. So this is how computer vision gets very popular. Because fundamentally, we know that human eyes are very important to us. We rely on our eyes to understand the world, to learn from the world. So we hope computer vision can do a similar thing. So this is recently, we can say, things evolved after half a decade, and things become much mature. So that's why it gets popular. Okay. So computer vision at the Stony Brook, we have a computer vision lab, and we have a lot of people there. So we are kind of one of the strongest computer vision lab in the US. So, and next is kind of overview of research from my group. Okay. So roughly speaking, over the years, I have done my group has done research on visual recognition, which means recognize something from the image, like face, thing, and texture, and so on, and the video tracking, and video matching, and all kinds of things. So I will kind of use this as examples in the following slides to summarize the computer vision research. And we also have some applications, like application in medical imaging, and application in intelligent transportation, and in privacy, and retrieval, and some kind of recently stuff like this is for augmented reality. Okay. So these are application domains, and we also apply this for some kind of chemical related research. So that's what I said before. Nowadays, when we're doing computer vision, we are not really limited to the images captured by camera. We also working on kind of image produced by. I don't really know how they produce the image, but it's my collaborator from physics department. They just give us some kind of images. Okay. So this is disclaimer. So this talk is not really meant to be a kind of a thorough survey of the field, and it's really based on my experience on research from my group. I'm saying that because otherwise, there's a lot of people in computer vision, and a lot of excellent work. So if you really want to get into a specific field, you need to read more on papers. Okay. So let's first talk about the low-level vision. So let's first describe what is low-level vision. Okay. So actually, in old days, we usually think computer vision has three levels: low level, middle level, and high level. Okay. But there's no clear boundaries between these levels, especially between middle level and high level. Okay. So roughly speaking, the three levels are kind of guessed from a human vision system. So low level vision means, okay, we have an image or maybe videos. We try to understand the image without the semantic information. So it's more like, okay, how to improve the quality of the image, and how to compress the image, something like that. So without understanding the semantic thing means, okay, we don't care what's inside this image. That's content part. So the content part is usually treated as middle level or high level computer vision. Okay. So high level computer vision is more like application oriented, and middle level is like semantic related, roughly speaking like this. But now people are arguing about the boundaries. Okay. So these are typical low level computer vision research. For this one, it's like like, okay, we try to understand the lighting and the shadow of the image without understanding what's inside of this image. Okay, we just say, okay, in this image it seems to have a few shadows. Okay, so what are the lighting distributions? How do we model the lighting of the environment? So that's a typical low-level vision. Okay, so this is for shadow estimation. This is the lighting estimation. This is actually a specific application. So you can see that the original image is actually on the top right. This is the original image. And after estimating the lighting distribution, essentially the lighting in the environment, we can insert a virtual object, this one, and also in this one, a virtual one. So we insert a virtual object inside of this image, but we want this to be consistent with the lighting environment. In this one, we feel that the lighting is coming from this direction. Then when we insert this box here, we want this side to be highlighted, but this part should be in the shadow. So that's the application of lighting estimation. So these are typical low-level vision stuff. And there are also other low-level vision stuff, like in this work, trying to improve the lighting, kind of the low lighting environment. So this is the original image. We took a night, so the lighting is very dark. So we try to do something using some algorithm. So we get something like this one. You can see the lighting condition is much better and improved. And this is another example. These things are, in old days, I would say this is also treated as part of something called image processing. Okay. So in the old days, I'm just kind of history. So when people teach image processing course, usually in the first class, they will draw a diagram. They will say, okay, this is image processing, this is image processing. And at the corner of the diagram, there's a small block. They say, okay, this is the computer vision. Okay. So in the old days, when computer vision people teach the course, we will also draw a big graph. So this is face recognition, this is classification. And in the left corner, there's small boxes. So, okay, this is image processing. So nowadays, we kind of merge together. Okay. So basically, in the old days, you can think of, okay, we have an image. If we want to enhance this image, we do something called signal processing. Okay, we use something called filtering. Roughly speaking, it's like filtering is like, okay, we want to improve one pixel, and we say, okay, this pixel is bad. Let's try to find some information from its surrounding areas, from its neighbor, and to jointly infer the information on this pixel. That's kind of a typical signal processing solution, and also typical image processing solution. But nowadays, some people get smarter because we know that, okay, the images, they actually have some content inside, right? For example, when you look at my face, when you want to improve this image, you know, okay, this pixel is on human face, right? Human face has some properties which is different than other parts. So although you don't know exactly the pixel value here, but based on your knowledge that it's a human face, you know how to kind of better improve this one. So that's how computer vision and the image processing can be joined together. So, and we also do some other things. This is again image enhancement. This is something called deep blur. Basically the original image, like this one, is blurred, and this is the original one. Okay, blur is zoomed in. And deep blur means, okay, when we take this image as input, we output something with improvement. Okay. In this work, exactly as I mentioned, okay, the old method is just doing signal processing solution, but in this method, we focus on faces. Because we know, okay, we have seen a lot of face pictures, right? We have a lot of data. So we know face has some special structure. Most of us have one mouth and two eyes, right? These are kind of very strong prior information. So based on this prior information, we can do much better work to deblur the face regions. Okay. Of course, we cannot apply this to all the regions, but in most of our applications, faces are the most important thing. So this is another example of low-level computer vision. So this is another one, as I mentioned before. Now it's widely used in augmented reality. Is something we call projector camera systems. So basically now we know that we have a lot of projectors, like we have projector I don't know where the project, but anyway, there's something there, right? So we think that if we have projectors, and meanwhile we have another cameras, we can kind of couple them together to do some smart projection. So the work we did here is, okay, what if, in a typical projection setup, we need a projector, and we need a surface like this one. This is a surface. Usually we require the surface to be flat and to be textureless, and hopefully is white or close to white, right? This is how we project something onto this surface, okay? However, if we want to use this tool kind of in general all kinds of places, okay, we meet problems. First, we may not be able to always find the planar space, right? Sometimes our surface is curved, or sometimes even worse. Okay? This is one issue. Another issue is, okay, this surface may already have something on top of that. Okay, so it's not a white texture. So in something like, if we want to project some image like this one, something like this, we want to project this image to a surface like this one. Okay, this surface is curved, and there's some patterns already. If we directly project something here, this picture to this surface, this is what we got. Essentially, it's a mixture of this guy and this guy, and also distorted by the surface. This is not something we want. So in our recent work, we say, okay, with our camera, and we know beforehand we can take a picture of the surface, so we know the texture already, right? And with one image, basically we don't necessarily know the geometry. We don't know whether it's flat or not. But we can take a few images, sometimes a few dozen images. With this image and with some new technology, we mentioned, images already mentioned, something like deep learning. We designed some models such that, given this image, this is some image we want to project. And then we also know the surface beforehand. And then what we do is like we design a method, we put this into our system, and it will output some image like this one. This essentially says, okay, if what we want is this picture, okay. So instead we project this picture to this surface, we project this guy to this surface. Okay. So you can say the color is weird because we use this color to compensate the original color. We essentially use this color to cancel this one. Or in other words, you can think this color plus this one equals to this guy. Of course, in reality, it's not simple plus, right? So, and also this one is distorted, but you can see this distortion is also different than this one. So basically, this distortion is also kind of a compensation. If we know the surface is curved, and then if we project something already curved, then we possibly will cancel the curve or the original curve. So that's something we're recently working on. So this can be applied to ordinary reality and all kinds of things. So this is still, fall into, roughly speaking, the low-level vision part. Because here we don't explicitly using the content in this image. For example, I didn't say, okay, this is a natural thing, we don't have such requirement. So these are more results using different textures, and texture means this is our surface. This is something we want. So just an example. So then I'm moving about from low-level vision. As I said, it should be middle level and high level. But nowadays, middle level and high level are highly mixed, so we don't distinguish them anymore. The reason, partly because of the evolution of computer vision, I mentioned at the beginning, right? In the old days, computer vision is very tough. We don't touch high level too much. High level vision, like the medical imaging, they usually require specific algorithms tailored to that application. But nowadays, the middle level vision is evolved a lot. We quite often combine together. Okay. So roughly speaking, vision has several important problems. They have recognition, segmentation, and tracking, and some others. So next, I will talk about tracking from the example of my research. Okay. So roughly speaking, there are different ways of tracking. So one thing is called object tracking. So remember, this definition are actually not rigorous. Sometimes even researchers, in my field, we sometimes use this term interchangeably. Okay. So roughly speaking, object recognition is like to determine the instance or identity label of an object. For a typical example is face recognition. Okay, I want to distinguish different faces. All right, I don't want to distinguish a face from a dog, so because that's totally different category. So that's the terminology here. Okay. So and also we can do shape. For example, these are the different shapes. Sorry, these are one shape, but they have deformation. This is just one specific scissors, but each scissor has different deformation. But we want to distinguish them. And also sometimes there's something in between, like leaves. So we want to recognize the species of a leaf. So if we want to use a shape to recognize that one. So there's an application called leaf snap. It used to be very popular in the United States, which is I'm fortunate to participate in this project when I was a PhD student. Okay. So that is really a very fun trip. Okay. So you can see this is just one example in the field test that happened in 2005 when I was still a PhD student. So what happened is this project is kind of a collaboration from between University of Maryland, so that's the group I belong to. We are in charge of the recognition part, and Columbia University, they are in charge of the kind of mobile and user interface part, and the Smithsonian Institute. Those guys are botanists. They are the guys they work a lot on the leaves and plants. Okay. So the field trip is like this is a small island named Palamos Island. I mean, this island belongs to the, I think, American Botany Association, something like that. They use this island to study the species, the plants of the DC area for over 100 years. So basically, they go to that island frequently to pick leaves to see how things change. So what we work is like we go to the island, cross the shore, and climb to the island. And we get the top, and those guys, and those are botanists, they took pictures of some leaves like this way, and finally they use our system to recognize this leaf. Okay, and this is the first version we got many years ago, more than 10 years ago. Yeah, this was me when I was still young. Okay, not as young as you guys. I'm not high school anymore. Okay. So that's many years ago. But you can see in the early days we don't have a fancy interface. It's very kind of rough interface, but that's how things evolve. Okay. So this is for leaf recognition. This is a special case of visual recognition. So then I said, okay, from object recognition, people later move to category recognition. Okay. So for this one, let's go back one step here. You can see here. When we try to recognize this leaf, what we did is something now looks a little weird. We need to put the leaf against some kind of uniform colored kind of background. Why do we need that one? Because by taking an image like this, we get something like this. Right? And when we get something like this, we can easily kick out the background so we can focus on this leaf part. Okay. However, this part from this image, from image to get the foreground object, to get the object we are interested in, is not that easy. Okay, not as easy as we thought. And so that's why we call the previous work as object recognition. We assume that we already have the object. It's just we don't know the identity of this object. Right? But later people think, okay, let's do something like, okay, we don't necessarily have the object. We only know that the object is in this image, but we don't know exactly which pixel belongs to this object, which pixel does not belong to this object. In other words, we don't have the master of this object. Okay. So this is sometimes called image recognition, which means, okay, I give you a rough image. Suppose you take an image of me like this one. Okay. In addition to my face, you also have some background. Okay. So we want based on this image with the background to do recognition. That's something like image-based recognition. Sometimes it's also kind of confused with category recognition. Category means, okay, we don't care about the identity of a specific object. We want the object label, which means, okay, I give you a picture, tell me whether this picture contains a dog or a cat of a human face, something like that. So that's kind of more advanced and more challenging than object recognition. And for this one, we have some examples like string classification. We can okay, given this two image, so this is still category. So given this image, category whether it contains bicycles or human or bike, something like that. And for image recognition, there are also another interesting application is for something called texture classification. So texture is not a specific object, but the kind of statistically repeated pattern. Like, okay, this is some texture like this, this is another texture. So this kind of repetition can also be across the time. So we have something called dynamic texture. So these two types of video, both of them content-wise, both of them contain water, some kind of water, right? But the patterns here and pattern here are very different. So that's kind of something we call dynamic texture. So this is for texture repetition. And there are lots of real-world applications. Just to be some example. So in this example, we apply that for medical imaging. We use the dental images. Suppose you go to the dental office to do the annual check, and you get an image. And from this image, we try to predict whether there's something wrong with your bone quality. So in other words, we want to do something related to osteoporosis pre-screening. Okay, this is a apparent collaboration with people from dental school and from bone research. And this is another research dealing with medical imaging. So we collaborated with people from radiology, use mammographic images to do breast cancer analysis. And this is yet another example. We use we try to do something called a cannabis website classification. Okay. So the reason we do this is this kind of website is some bad website. We don't want this website. Okay. And those guys, they operate the website. They know this. So they purposely kind of remove the related text descriptions there. Because in the old days, they have descriptions there, and the government can easily kick out this website. They say, okay, this is something bad. And then they instead, they put images, pictures there. They think, okay, in pictures is safe. Okay. And then we come up with kind of picture related, and based on this picture, we do a classification. So this is another application. Okay. A third application we do is about privacy protection. So this is work we try to give me a picture. We try to decide whether this picture is taken kind of normally or taken secretly. So the inspiration is like in 2010, there was an undergraduate student at Rutgers University, which is close to my home. And the student, when he was dating with his partner and his kind of roommate, they secretly shoot some pictures and videos. They uploaded that online, and then the student committed suicide afterwards. And their two classmates also sentenced to jail. So that was a very highlight in all the newspapers at that time. So then I think, okay, this kind of we call it cohort photos. And roughly speaking, most of them are not similar to the regular ones. I know there are some maybe sometimes they have some very high quality, like just a regular one. But most of them, like these two, you can, and just by a glance, you feel it's not like a normal one, right? So we think that if we have some technology to distinguish these kind of photos or videos, then when these two guys, when they upload their video to the website, at least they should pop out a warning saying that they should be responsible for the legal results, right? And then maybe we can award this charity. So that's what we did in starting from 2012. We're still continuing working on this one. So technically wise, this one is like given an input image, we want to give it a label cohort or not cohort. So you can say this is again the image classification problem. So these are classifications, and of course they are face recognition problem. Okay. In my group, we can specifically work on recognize face across different ages. Like the face is face between two photos, but separated by 10 years. This is kind of used to be a very difficult problem. Especially in the old days, we don't have so many photos. Now I think it's okay. And another problem we are working on is a little bit on the reverse way. We call it as face de-identification, which means, okay, suppose I want to take a picture like this way. If I share it to the website, a lot of you may not be happy because you don't want your face to kind of to show on the web page. Okay. But on the other hand, I want to show that, okay, my seminar is very popular. I want some audience there. So one technology is saying that, okay, I can still maintain the audience face in the picture, but somehow I do something on their face such that I can preserve their basic properties, like rough the age and the gender, but not their identity. So this is the way we call face de-identification. A very naive way is like, okay, I detect all the face, I just block that. But that does not look natural, right? And then there's a lot of trick here to have a new face that looks like a real face, but is not the original one. Okay. So here are some examples. For example, this is the original face. So after de-identification, we get something like this. So we preserved the gender and roughly the age and the race. I mean, it depends on what you want to preserve. So all these are examples. So these are another one about the recognition. So next I will talk about detection and segmentation, which is another very important kind of subfield in computer vision. Roughly speaking, detection is like, okay, given an image, we want to locate something of interest, object of interest from this image. So this is a face detection. We want to detect, oh, in this bundle, there is a face. In this bundle, there is a human. So this is something called detection. So there's a lot of research on it because it's very important along this line. So these are work from my group. You can say, in old days, like traditional way, or sometimes called conventional approach. By the way, when computer vision guys say, okay, traditional method or conventional method, we usually mean method does not use deep learning. So when we don't use deep learning, we have some specific model like this one for a specific object like this Apple logo, and then we use some kind of inference here. But nowadays, with things changed a lot. Almost all state-of-the-art methods use deep learning. So this is also deep learning solution from my group, and we work with some solutions. So these are for detection of all kinds of things like pedestrian and cars and all kinds of things. And our recent work is also focused on detection of pedestrians and cars from the drone images from afar. So these are recent work. Of course, these modern solutions are all based on deep learning. So there are also some kind of very specific object detection. So in previous work, when we say object detection, we know the label beforehand. We say, okay, we are interested in faces in this image. We are interested in cat in this image. Okay. But there are another type of object detection called salient object detection, which means, okay, I give you an image. Okay, like you take a photo like here. I don't tell you what I want, but I just say, okay, usually in a picture, they have something important. By important, we mean important defined by the guy who took the picture, right? Usually I will put important thing to the middle of the object and a good code and etc. So this kind of work is saying that, okay, we want to automatically detect such objects. So we have done this for minutes, and recently we started working on videos. So this is actually a video. This guy is running through here, from here and all the way to here. It's kind of running. So in this video, we just segment this object from the first frame to the last frame. This is something called saving the object detection from video. And there's a lot of applications. So this is application summary solving. Okay. So I started working on this program in 2003, which is my early in my early years as a PhD student. Okay. Let's say the scenario. At that time, we were thinking about you want to show me, for example, you use a cell phone, took a lot of pictures, you want to show me some pictures there. Okay. So at the beginning, it shows a lot of small thumbnails. Okay. But thumbnails, they are very small by definition. Okay. It's really hard to recognize that one to do some kind of retrieval. Okay. So the idea here is like we can automatically find the important region of these pictures and crop that picture, and then shrink that to the thumbnail. It looks like we just zoom in the thumbnail, but of course we need to zoom in the right part, the salient part. Okay. So you can compare to this guy. So this is I think this is zooming in as a crop thumbnail. Okay. So this is before cropping. Things looks very small. So after cropping, things become bigger, right? So that's a problem. And of course, this is in old days, we also use some traditional, conventional approach. Recently, we also moved to deep learning-based approach with a further improvement. So next, I will talk about video tracking. So after my group did a lot of things on video tracking and all kind of tracking. So roughly speaking, tracking is we keep track of something across time. Okay. In computer vision, across time means we have a video. We track something through the video. Okay. So the most popular topic in video tracking is something called model-free single-object tracking. Okay. So what do we mean by model-free? Model-free means, okay, in this tracking problem, we don't know the object beforehand. It's like in the first frame, someone draw a bounding box in the video scene. Okay, this is something I'm interested in. Okay. Like for example, when some police guy they investigate some video, they draw a bounding box in the first frame. They say, okay, this one is a suspect I'm interested in, and then the video will move on. But sometimes the policeman maybe he draw a bounding box to some vehicles. This is something I'm interested in. So basically, we don't know beforehand what's the object of interest, and then we try to track across the time. Essentially, we always draw the bounding box of the object. Okay. So that's the purpose. Okay. So my group has done a lot of research along this line. So originally we used some different spatial convention, and later you can say, compared to deep learning, previous method sometimes people will call it as shallow models. So we first study on shallow models, and then we kind of combine the shallow and deep models. And in recent work, we have to move to deep models. So that's a tradition there. And on the other line, we're also working on benchmarking tables. We have larger and even larger benchmarks. So these are good tracking tables. Okay. So these are typical challenges in tracking. So sometimes the object can move out of view. Sometimes the object is blocked and occluded by some other thing. And this is kind of a background clutter. And this target is very similar to other targets. Okay. This is the drastic lighting change. This one, in this case, the object has a large nonlinear deformation with fast motion. All this makes tracking problem very challenging. So this is a video, kind of the data set we recently released, which is now the largest one in the world. And this is our recent work. This year's APR. We have a new method for tracking, and this is state-of-the-art solution. Okay. So I won't get into the detail there, but I can show you some examples. Okay. So the first three rows show the successful examples. The left one is ground truth. This is our loss. So by ground truth we mean we have some student, sometimes high school student, annotated the bounding box for us for free. Okay. So this is the ground truth. So basically we have this guy say, okay, in this image, the target is here. So we draw bounding box there. So this is our garden. Okay. So these are successful cases, and these two challenging cases. You can say when we try to track this UU ball, and we got lost when this ball passed around the apple, because it moved very fast, and when it got passed from here, it looks similar to the background to the apple. Okay, then we lost that. Okay. In this case, it is even more challenging. We are interested in this zebra, and it was occluded by another one, and they look similar, and then we lost that. Okay. This is ground truth. This is the excellent high school student output. This is our output for the last So this is for single object tracking. Okay. And then we're also working on something. We said that tracking is keep track of something across time. Okay. Sometimes we are interested in the tracking of planar object. So this is actually it's kind of equivalent to tracking chemicals. Okay. So basically, in this case, we are interested in a planar object and the exact pose of this planar object. So this one is widely used in robotics and augmented reality. So here's an example from augmented reality. For example, here we actually track the two cars, but once we track the two cars, we can put some virtual warriors there so that they can fight. So this is another example. Say all these things are virtual one, but the card are real one. So if we track the virtual one, we can put the real one here. So this is used in education. So and also we track something more complicated, like deformable structures. This one is we track the hand pose. So in this the hand pose is defined by the 3D coordinate of all these hand joints. So there's a high dimensional one. So this one we are tracking we call curvilinear structure in medical domain. So this one is kind of important in medical domain. This collaboration with people from Siemens Corporate Research. The right one is here. So in medical domain, when people want to do some intervention, they typically ask the patient, or sometimes they inject something called agent to the patient's body, so that the structure can be viewed clearly on the screen, on the CT screen, something like that. But this kind of injection, this kind of agent, is harmful to the patient, right? So we want to reduce the amount of agent injected to human body. So what we do that is like, okay, in the first frame, we after inject something, we can see this structure clearly, right? But then after that, we want to use this injection anymore. We use computer vision technology to track the structure and for the rest of the sequence. That's the ideal case. So that's like the diagram of the application here. And these are some results. So we can see that. And so this one is something we call deformable surface tracking. So this one is like we also want to track something that is deformable, but this one is more challenging because the whole surface is deformable. So you can see we are not perfect. At the beginning we also have some problem around the corner, but this is state of the art. This is one of the best conference in our field. So this is tracking. So there are also some other type of tracking, like something called multi-touch tracking. So basically we are tracking a lot of things at the same time. And these guys look very similar to each other. Like in this case, we're tracking a lot of vehicles from the airborne vehicles. In this case, we're tracking a lot of cells in some kind of containers. So this is our recent method is kind of fairly complicated. By the way, this is if nowadays you look at some state-of-the-art research, they typically have some kind of graph like this one. A lot of something we call network structures. But this kind of network is essentially is neural network. It's not a network connect your computer to the internet. It's something different. So, okay, this is just the illustration and the result so that you know typical and multi-touch application. So basically, we track a lot of detections simultaneously. Different color means different subjects. So you can see this is apparently useful in surveillance and security, all kinds of things. This is the vehicles. Apparently this one can be used in autonomous driving and something like that. Yeah, this is from UAV. Airborne. Yeah, we can track different objects at the same time, not necessarily all from capture. Okay. So yeah, this is the application in medical domain as I mentioned before. So this is input. So this is we have input like this one. So this medical related researchers they are interested in how the cell moves under different conditions so that they can help them to design different medicine. So this is tracking results. There is even some more complex tracking approach. Okay. So previously we say tracking of something, or I mean the easiest one is something is a bounding box, and the later we say something can be the hand pose, and it can be a whole surface, right? So I think the most complicated thing is this something is everything in this in the video, basically including the surface and the target or everything in the surface. It's more in some sense it's more like we want to track the whole geometry of the whole world and sometimes also the semantics of the whole world in real time. That's the most challenging part. So this is typically called SLAM or online 3D reconstruction, something like that. Okay. So this video is kind of like that. So this one is widely used in robotics and also like augmented reality and multiple applications. So other than that, I think I have a few things like visual matching. So visual matching is something kind of is not directly application based. It's like finding correspondence between images and visual quantities. So it's not by itself. It's not an application, but it's kind of a basis for many calculation problems. So I will skip this part and go quickly to the. So this is the conclusion of the speaking. So basically we say that computer vision has achieved great progress in recent years, and is ready or close to ready for many real-world applications. So I think that's the cool message. So this is kind of part of my collaborators. I have some researchers and some of my students. This guy is a high school student. He also co-authored I think 2 papers. So that's all my talk. Okay, thank you. So I'll take questions.
Any questions? Maybe from high school student from this time? Yeah? At this moment? Okay, thanks for the talk. We can have a bit longer break time, then we'll come back at 4.